southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.
What's going on, guys? Tristan and Tony here, back with another episode of the One Hell of a Life Outdoor Podcast. And we got some exciting stuff to talk about today. You know, it's kind of a unique, cool, not cool for the people it happened to, but cool for the people that were there to help out, which happened to be two of the guides at Williamson Outfitters, which y'all know sponsors the podcast. And we just had Captain Chris on not too long ago. But today we have on Clay and Brice, Captain Clay and Captain Brice, to kind of tell how this whole thing went down. I don't know if you guys saw this, but if you're listening to this podcast and you're from Florida, you probably saw a video of from Williamson Outfitters of, you know, what went down with this incident, basically a turned over boat. And, you know, these
a couple
guys,
people were saved, and and it was a very dangerous situation, you know, and, we basically wanted to get these guys on here tonight to just really kind of tell the story and kind of really help build that visual for, you know, what happened today or that day. And, number one priority is, guys, you got an extra check mark from the big guy upstairs for what you guys did. Man, welcome to the show, and thank you for what you did.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. No, thank you, guys. We're excited to hear about it. And, can you guys kind of, up to y'all who wants to start first, but, you know, kind of go into, you know, how long you've been working for Williamson Outfitters. I know Brice, obviously, you were brought up in it. And, you can just kind of give a little background of what you guys do there.
You can go ahead. All right, this is Captain Brice. I'm the boss's son, Chris Williamson's son. So I've been working here pretty much as long as it's been alive. So since 2019, and I've been deckhanding for, I think, from 2019 to about 2020, 2021. And then I was old enough to get my captain's license. So I've been doing it on my own since then. And I basically do everything that he does now. So yeah, I've been doing it since 2019 till now. So
nice, man.
Nice. Nice. Good deal. And just, you know, I guess maybe, and Tristan, if I'm getting ahead of the game, just let me know. But, you know, I guess for everybody out there, just kind of give a visual, Brice, of the kind of environments that y'all waterfowl hunt and fish in. I mean, we're not talking about the interiors of Florida. We're talking about the coastal areas, and just kind of help people kind of get an idea of what that looks like out there.
So basically, if anybody that's listening has been to Louisiana, hunting down there in Venice and everything, we basically have our small Venice. It's real marshy, real muddy, and you got some sand spots here and there, but we got a lot of marshland. And you hunt basically in those pockets that are in the marsh, and we're killing most of your divers, your redheads, bluebills, buffleheads, canvasbacks, ringnecks. Occasionally we shoot some puddle ducks, teal, gadwall, pintails, widgeon, every now and then, even snow geese. And that's in the marsh. Now we've also got an island that we hunt that basically looks like Florida. I mean, it's looks like South Florida almost. And that's where we shoot our redheads. Our redheads like to roost over there. And that's where we do most of our redhead hunting, which is what mainly everybody comes to hunt here for, is the redheads. So
gotcha. Yeah, and you guys, you know, I mean, Tristan and I, as you know, are from Florida and stuff too, and we lived there for about a decade. And you know, these areas, a lot of times, these are all coastal waters, and you know, there's a tide that goes in and out and that kind of thing. And it's a lot different than if you're a Midwest person. You know, you're just floating down a river, right? You know, everything's going south. Florida's got the only river in the United States that goes north. I mean, so it's just a different type of environment, you know, than just say going down the Mississippi or something like that, you know. So,
yeah.
But
and you know, Clay, if you can kind of just give a little background to, you know, your time there at Williamson Outfitters and what you do as well, man.
Yes, sir. Well, I'm Clay. This is my second year Williamson Outfitters, but I mean, I'm 19. Yeah, I'm 19 right now. And, you know, I've been hunting. I don't know how long I've been duck hunting now, probably close to 10 years since I was little. But either way, my dad he works at the Tallahassee Fire Department.
Uh-huh.
He's always had the business since I've been younger, and has always done the fishing charters. We kind of tried something new with the duck hunting, and then turned that into a little business whenever he had time off from work, and then whenever I had time off from school, and I'd always help him whenever available. And then it kind of just got to how Brice said it. I got to where I was able to get my license when I was 18, and with already all the knowledge that I've had since I've been able to work a boat, it just all adds up. And so now I'm here.
Well, good for y'all, man, on getting that. And I just think it's neat, y'all being young guys, just to be that passionate about it, because I always talk about a lot. Like, I'm 27, I'm a little bit older than y'all, but like, I'm sure you guys have heard of like declining hunting numbers kind of across the board. It's kind of like a inevitable thing, but it's guys like y'all too, coming on this podcast to talk about stuff like this that, hopefully get new generations into it, the guys younger than us,
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to touch on too, folks, in these areas, if you are a rookie to coastal waters, you have spent some time in between tides stuck. It's just it's a nature of the beast. You learn the hard way. Tristan and I tried to chase some bluebills last year, and it wasn't good.
Yeah,
it wasn't good.
Luckily, we only were stuck for about an hour and a half. But it could have been way worse.
That is one thing to definitely take into consideration, especially in the wintertime when we get these really low tides with the north wind. That low tide knocks out all the water.
In the outdoors, every detail counts. See sharper, aim clearer. From the river's edge to the heart of the flooded timber, Hook and Bullet has your vision covered. Hook and Bullet's purpose-built optics are flawlessly crafted to give you an edge regardless of your outdoor pursuit. Use code ZeroDuck30 for 15% off a pair of Hook and Bullet sunglasses today.
Then you have to actually run the deep water where that north wind makes it rough as all get out trying to get to the spot. Not just at that point, if you put yourself in the wrong situation, it gets dangerous.
Yeah, no, and you hear it every year. If you're from the South, you hear about people that are jettisoned from their boats, hitting sandbars and things like that. Going too fast, and it really does take. If you're a Midwestern person, the rule is that you don't go to Reelfoot Lake without a guide, right? Just because how dangerous the water can be there. Very similar to, I would say, in these tidal areas, is that it is dangerous, and especially when you're going in the middle of the night, and it just takes a lot of, I think there's a lot more mental preparation that goes into coastal hunting than any other kind of duck hunting that I've done.
Yeah, 'cause you could be running somewhere the day before on a high tide, and you get out there in the morning not knowing tidal swings, and that where you ran yesterday could be completely out of the water.
Wow.
And you find that sandbar right there.
Wow. So, yeah. It's crazy. And I just, I know Tristan too, we've had some situations where we can definitely relate to some fear of scenarios that we've done, that we've dealt with, just trying to get out there and really just cut our teeth and figure out, scouting, that kind of thing. It just can be super dangerous, but man alive. But y'all, we wanted to dive into these guys tonight, and like I said, and really build this visual for you. And if you guys would just kind of, walk us through, I wouldn't mind hearing if you guys were in separate boats or the same boat, whatever. I'm guessing you were probably separate boats. Just kind of, why don't you go ahead and start it, Brice, and just kind of walk us through that morning up until you got in the boat and you guys were heading out to do what you're going to do.
All right. So basically how we run it around here is the guides will get out there a little bit earlier than the clients do, just so we can get our blinds good and brushed up and make sure they're all good, mainly to hold that spot for us because, of course, we're hunting public land. So we get a lot of people that just go and try and get
which is legal in Florida,
which
Arkansas, folks.
Yeah,
exactly.
You can do it, which we understand, and it's hunting. So, I mean, It happens.
Right.
But we get out there early, try and get our blind, get our decoys set out, make sure everything's good. So we got out there around 4 o'clock, just like we usually do. Throw out our decoys, that and the other. Then we just kind of chit chat till we get back to the boat ramp to pick up our clients. So
tide was already ripping out.
Yeah, the tide was also ripping out that morning, and it was 38 degrees that morning, I think.
Now, were you guys in one boat together, or
no? We were in separate boats.
Okay, but hunting the same area, or just helping
hunting? Yeah, maybe probably 400 yards from each other.
Gotcha,
600 somewhere around there.
Okay,
so we're in the same area.
Sure.
So we basically get done throwing out our decoys, all that good stuff, and then we head back to the ramp. Get back to the ramp, we hang out. Me and Clay hang out and chit chat, waiting on our guys to get there. And while we're waiting, some boats put in, and we're like, "Oh, I hope they don't go getting our decoys, all that." So, and then that boat that had come in, that had, of course, flipped. It come in, and it was so small. It was on like a lawnmower trailer. It wasn't on a boat trailer. It was a 12-foot John boat.
You guys saw this boat go in the water?
Oh yeah.
Okay, all right.
It was a 12-foot John boat, like one you buy, like that's just basically on its ass, just parked up, like at a Bass Pro or something for like $300, $400. One of those John boats.
Sure. A little V bottom.
Yeah, and it had a long tail on it, probably maybe a 10 horse. Me and Clay looked at each other and were like, "Yeah, I mean." I don't know what they think they're doing.
Right.
It's rough. It's blowing probably 20 mile an hour.
That's dangerous sounding right now. It is.
20 mile an hour up the north, 38 degrees, wind chill of what was like 29, something like that.
Yeah, it was cold.
It was cold.
Well, dude, I've had my 16-foot War Eagle out there with my 40 XD and nothing like that. And I was sketched out even with that.
Yeah.
Well, just to put it in contrast for y'all. I mean, these guys run bigger boats.
Right.
Yeah, we all run. He runs an 18-foot Gator tail with a 70 Yamaha on it. I run a 19-foot Prodigy with a 115 on it. So we're running big boats.
Yeah.
So basically, I mean, we're sitting there waiting on our guys. I've got 5 guys. Would you have 3 that morning?
No, I had 4.
You had 4?
Yeah.
4 guys. So anyways, we're waiting on our guys. That boat that had flipped, they put in before us, and they were already starting to idle out there. Of course, they're not going to go fast in that boat.
Basically how that ramp is, you have the bridge that goes over the top, all the parking spots underneath, and it has 4 different ramps right there. Well, you put in your boat and it's the idle, it's no weight all the way for about 30 yards, then you take a left, and then you got like 50 yards, and then you're into the river or into the mouth of the river where you can jump on plane. Yes, sir. Yeah. But it's it has houseboats and bay boats and everything else.
It's basically a bunch of boat slips right there.
And you guys are only like, I mean, you guys are like as a crow flies, how far from the ocean?
It's the mouth of the river. It's literally right there where the river meets the St. George Sound.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Cool. But anyway, go ahead.
So we get there, obviously, like I said, get our guys, we're getting them loaded up. While we're getting them loaded up, one of those dudes' buddies that was on that boat, he wasn't on the boat. So you can walk around and see the river from where he was at the time. So he saw them. I guess what had happened, which we don't know for sure, but we're pretty certain that they had speared a couple waves and they just took too much water over the bow because it was, of course, like I said, blowing 20 mile an hour. Of course, it's going to be rough water right there in that river.
Sure.
That river's deep. And that water right there is ripping out, like it's getting out of there. And they had basically sunk their boat right there just because of the water intake that they had gotten.
Mm-hmm.
And so their buddy had come running over to us that wasn't on the boat, said, hey, and he couldn't really get out of his mouth that they had flipped. And we're like, okay, what was it? And he's like, my buddies, they flipped. And
he said He said
Did they call him or something?
Yeah, I couldn't really tell us. I was trying to load my guys up. I thought it was just some dude coming to talk to us. I wasn't really
Some
thinking
public
of it.
land asshole. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, then he started getting like, you could tell in his face he was freaking out. I was like, okay, something's wrong.
That's what made me just push off.
Yeah, he started freaking out. He said, hey, like my guys are sinking. And Clay was like, all right, I got it. And I was like, all right, let me get 3 y'all to get off the boat. Let me take 2 of y'all with me, which I had 2 of my clients help me just in case if something went wrong, I needed them to drive the boat or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, that no-wake zone, I mean, yeah, it's a no-wake, but with somebody hurt, we jumped right up on top in that no-wake zone just so we could get out there.
I started idling out, and I was thinking, I was like, I mean, are they really in trouble? You know, should I do this? I really don't want to break the law. And I look back and I can see him like he's frantic. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he was trying to hop on my boat. But
Executive decision.
I didn't want him. I didn't want him getting on my boat because I didn't know what he was going to do. I didn't know if he wanted to put himself in danger. So I told him just stay back. We go take care of it.
Well, so especially if you guys knowing exactly.
Yeah, the thing is we stayed calm throughout the whole thing because if you freak out, then everybody's gonna freak out because of course we're guiding that hunt, so we have to stay calm.
Sure.
So and we're driving those boats, of course. So Clay gets in front, he gets out there, and I'm right behind him. And when we get out and take a left into the river, so they basically had sunk their boat up from the bridge and they had floated back down through the bridge just because of that current. And so the first guy that Clay found, when we turned the corner, he had a life jacket on with a flashing headlamp, and Clay went straight over there to him and pulled him to the boat. Yeah,
dude. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, you're good.
I'm just, as you're telling me this, you know, and I'm a Navy guy, so I'm not afraid of the water, okay? But I'm thinking about these tides ripping. And if you're from the South, you know what I'm talking about. I mean, they can rip sometimes where you're just like, dude, if you're in a large enough body of water, there's no getting out of it, you know? And I'm just thinking about the fear that, I mean, you know, you're going out there, you're trying to enjoy a day of duck hunting, and I'm sure that's what they were trying to do.
Yes.
Obviously, they were underexperienced, and Williamson Outfitters, located along the beautiful Gulf Coast of Florida, is a premier guide service with lodging that provides incredible coastal duck hunting, gator hunting, fishing, gigging, scalloping, and custom boat tours along Florida's Forgotten Coast. They are family owned and operated with over 200 years of combined experience hunting and fishing along this incredible stretch of Florida. Captain Chris Williamson runs a first-class operation. On a coastal duck hunt, you have an incredible chance at many rare species of diver ducks and several puddle duck species. Listen up. If you're a veteran or active duty, February 3rd and 4th, Williamson Outfitters will be hosting a very special event. It's called Waterfowl Weekend for Warriors. To show appreciation for our men and women in uniform, the FWC offers a special weekend for veterans and active duty service members to hunt waterfowl in Florida. This opportunity occurs February 3rd through 4th, 2024, when waterfowl hunting is closed to the general public. Remaining dates for waterfowl are booking fast. Call or text Captain Chris right away, 850-251-8650, or you can go to www.floridaducks.com and check available dates for all their services. What they needed to get out there, but they're willing to risk it because that's how addictive we are as duck hunters, you know. And I just want to stop for a second and just really like make a point about the fact that you can get so crazy addicted to what we do. I have done it myself, and Tristan, I know you have too, and many people listen to this. You lose sight of the safety aspect. I mean, me and Tristan threw my boat into a boat ramp and dove on the deck because of a tornado coming. I mean, it's serious shit, you know. I mean, it just takes that one mistake that you're not here anymore, you know what I mean? So I just wanted to make a point about that real quick as you guys progress through this, is that, you know, this is, they had every intention of going out there and just having a good time, you know? So anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So basically Clay goes over to that guy, gets that guy that had the headlamp life jacket on. And we knew there was at least two guys in that boat. Now the other guy wasn't nowhere to be seen. We had no idea where he was at. Now their boat, I don't know how, but its light bars were still on and it was almost completely underwater. I seen that, and we didn't see the other guy. So automatically in my head, I was like, oh, he's trapped up under that boat.
Yeah.
So I drove over to the boat, hooked it up to my boat, and basically hit it in reverse so where it'd pull that boat up out of the water enough to where we could look. And of course, there was nothing up under. And by that time, I had made sure nobody was under it. Clay had found that guy. Was he hanging on to the bridge?
Yeah, so basically, well, I'll just go ahead and tell my viewpoint from it.
Yeah.
But when I turned that corner, I mean, I was disoriented. I see lights, and the light bar underwater because it was flipped up. It was flipped upside down.
Yeah.
And then I see a light just flashing, and then I hear a guy yelling help. But I sit there. I kind of slow down once I get to it and realize, okay, there's one guy, and he's frantic. He's waving around help. He has a bright green PFD on. And a lime green.
Well, thank God they were smart enough to wear their PFDs. I mean, seriously.
At least one of them was.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, thank God, because it is. I mean, we take it for granted just because the law says in many states that adults don't have to wear them. Kids under 12 usually, isn't it? I think at least that's what it is here in Georgia. But man, I mean, I just got me and Tristan 2 new ones this year just because I'm like, dude, I'm not messing around with those floody, twisty current rivers and tidal areas anymore without a life vest on.
I mean, even sometimes even driving the boat, if I know it's going to be real bad, I mean, even the ones that you can get from Bass Pro that you put the CO2 bottle in to pull the string, I mean, that's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Especially with how much, I mean, as duck hunters, we wear waders while riding on a boat, even though for safety, you shouldn't.
Sure.
Just for the simple fact that they fill up and they pull you down.
Yep.
But either way, I see the boat about 20 yards from the boat. I see the guy, and then, so, I mean, I go to the guy, I get him to grab onto the side, and I mean, I have to calm him down, just saying, all right, just calm down. I'm going to get you in the boat. Just need you to calm down. And
this guy, guys, this is Florida. This water is not 80 degrees. All right. This just hit me. What's like the temperature of the water at this time of year?
It's warmer. That day it was warmer than the air, but with the wind and the temperature, it was, but when you come out of the water and give it 5 minutes for that water to cool down, that your clothes soaked up, and you feel the full effect of the temperature and then the wind chill. So I mean, it intensifies.
That water temperature is probably in its low 50s. It ain't warm.
No. I mean, hypothermia could set in super quick in that. For sure. Yeah, but keep going. I'm sorry.
But either way, I pull him into the side of the boat, and he's freaking out. He's like, my buddy. I'm like, all right, well, where's the last place you saw him? And I need you to calm down. At least tell me the last place you saw him. And he said the bridge, and I knew Brice was already working down current from me, looking at the boat, whatever, shining lights so he could see everywhere down there. My biggest thing was as soon as I got him in the boat and I was shining the light bar around, I saw where I don't know if he had them on, had them off or what, but I saw a pair of waders that were kicked off. So my immediate thought was he got out of his waders by a miracle. Because like I said, those waders, they fill up and they literally suction to your body.
Yep.
But my first thought was, his waders filled up. He's at the bottom of the river right now. There's no way that we can find him. Like that's just in the story. But I know Brice is working down the river, and then he says the bridge. So I start going up current, and he said he's seeing him over by the bridge. So I drive. So the bridge, it has the pilings, and in the middle it has the channel where it has the wood around it, the wood pilings. For I don't know what that's for if a bigger boat accidentally bumps into them or something. I have no idea.
Sure, yeah.
But he basically he had his waders on, but they flipped after the bridge, and then he immediately grabbed onto the decoy bag and got to the piling, and he had his feet against one piling and his back against another with the decoy bag pretty much cradled in his lap.
Wow.
But I get him. I make sure he's pinned. He's not going to go anywhere. I get him to pass me the decoy bag out of his hand, so we were able to recover that. And then with the help of the other guy, I pull him into the boat.
Wow.
And adrenaline pump and everything else. They're not cold right yet. I mean, the first thing they were worried about was their backpack with their wallet and the keys.
Mm-hmm.
So we idle around there. And by that time, Brice is hooked up to the boat. He made sure nobody was under it. I made sure there was nobody else with him. I got them both to calm down. I mean, obviously, it's that right there that's scary. I mean, I've been in a few situations where I've had to put the boat on a sandbar in order to bail the boat in order to keep on going.
Mm-hmm.
But it's scary, but they said there was nobody else, and we couldn't get their backpack out from underneath the boat, so it was one of those deals we had to wait till we got back to the ramp. But either way, the first is they wouldn't leave the boat just because of all their stuff in it.
Mm-hmm.
So we idled behind them till the one guy started just straight up shivering. So I said, all right, well, you guys don't have y'all's car keys. So get back to the ramp, strip down to your underwear, and I'll crank up my truck. And you guys sit in heat till we get everything to the ramp and stuff like that.
Man.
So, I mean, the other guy was there with his truck, so they were able to just do that in his truck.
I mean, what were the clients doing? I mean, obviously, I would be like, dude, go save the people. You know what I mean? And you guys do all this. I mean,
So,
they had to just be mind blown.
Yeah, the two I had on my boat, I had hunted with them for already a day or two, and they're really cool guys. So I was comfortable with them helping me out. They're about my age. We're cutting up. So, yeah. So, anyways, we get out there. I have them two help me out. So they helped me anchor that boat to my boat, basically. And once Clay had told me he found that other guy, we made sure there was no other people on the boat. Then we started doing basically rescue for their belongings. Gotcha. So that's basically what my job was once.
Were you guys able to recover stuff?
Yeah. So basically, while Clay was recovering that other guy, I had hooked up that boat to mine, tried to flip it over on its front side, but I couldn't. Just because it was basically getting suction cupped up under that current.
It was all in the dark.
Yeah, this is all pitch black dark.
Yeah.
So we ended up getting both their guns that were floating in the water. We got their blind bags that were floating in the water.
Do you want coffee that doesn't suck? Get the Duck. Dirty Duck coffee is made specifically for the waterfowl enthusiast. Enjoy flavors like Morning Wood, Dark Dynasty, Cinnamon Teal Snickerdoodle, and First Flight to unlock the flavor that you'll enjoy in the blind for years to come. Our friends at Dirty Duck Coffee Company are now offering all Zero Duck 30 followers a 15% discount when you use code ZeroDuck15 on your next order.
Water, their waders that were floating in the water, their backpack that they wanted, the keys and everything was stuck up under. It's side patch that you put on like your basically the strap. It was hung on something on the boat.
They said they tied it to the battery.
Yeah, I guess they tied it to the battery. Thank the Lord.
Right.
So that was basically it was stuck on that boat. And so once Clay pulled up behind me with them on his boat, they were freaking out wanting that bag. I told them, like, look, the last thing you need to worry about right now is your shit in that bag. You need to get back to that ramp and go get in some heat. Like, I ain't worried about that shit right now.
Right.
So Clay, he got them back to the ramp, of course, got their stuff off, got them in the heat. He did a good job of that. And
what an incredible job managing their emotions, you guys.
Yeah.
I think that's something to really point out here is that, I mean, people go through paramedic training and, you're dealing with people that are not in their right mind, and it takes a lot of patience and calmness to handle a situation like that. And what an incredible thing. I mean, I'm sitting here at 51 and I don't know if I could have done as good a job as you guys. I mean, that's just incredible that you guys were able to maintain control and keep your emotions in check. To me, it sounds like you guys were like trained to do this in the Navy. I mean, it's just, I mean, is some of this like,
play a lot of Call of Duty. We know what we're doing.
Can you guys give? That's awesome. Can you guys give some credit to any of the safety training that you go through to get your captain's license? That kind of, or is it just more of a moral thing?
That was more of just like a instinct, almost.
Yeah, as a human,
like it wasn't really. I mean, there was a few things they taught us in there that it really wasn't much that they didn't really teach us about that stuff.
Sure,
they didn't teach you how to anchor a flipped over boat and how to go rescue somebody.
Sure.
Like that.
Sure.
So
and good. I mean, y'all growing up around boats and stuff, I'm sure that had to,
that's what it really was about, was really just us being around that kind of stuff. Not really the rescuing and everything, but just around like boats and like what that current is really about, and what that temperature is really about. So,
that's mind blowing.
Yeah,
it's mind blowing to me, you guys. I just as soon as I saw this on Instagram, I was just like, wow, because we hear it every year. There's stories all across, during duck hunting season of people that we lose, and it's so sad, and it's nobody out there trying to be dangerous. They just maybe are uneducated, don't have the right equipment or whatever it is, but just chasing their passion just like we all do. And, and you guys literally, y'all, if you don't understand what this means when this tide's sucking out, these guys could have been sucked out in the middle of the ocean in an hour or two.
Yeah, thankfully it was pulling into.
If it wasn't for that guy with that life jacket on, there ain't no telling what would have actually happened.
Yeah.
Because him getting that life jacket and headlamp on was very smart on his play. Because he's the one who basically, once he got in the boat, he was good enough in his head to tell Clay, like, hey, like, bridge, like, at least just get that word out. Because if he wouldn't have had that life jacket on, there's no telling if we would have even found him.
Well, I talked to him a little bit with a guy that was hanging on to the bridge. I talked to him a little bit after the fact, a day or two after. And he said that they were actually both hanging on to the bridge. He was freaking out. The guy in the life jacket was freaking out. And he actually kicked off the bridge to try to swim to the hill, but the current was too strong for him to do that.
Oh, man.
Imagine this, you guys. Imagine if you're doing it, and this is in the dark, dude. It's just, golly, holy cow, man. But that's how these things happen, man. Tristan and I, I don't want to shy away from what you guys did, but, the first danger scare I had on a river was, we had a budget boat, and budget surface drive and just trying to do what we could do in Arkansas. And it was flooded on this river and that we were on, and, we lost power. And in a second, this wave is coming behind us from the wake from the motor, and it came so close. And I'm looking at all this undertow and all this stuff. We had no power. We're sitting there spinning a little bit in the river. And I got back that year, and I told my wife, I said, if I'm going to do this sport, I can't not afford. If that's what I want to do, if I want to have a boat to be able to run those kinds of waterways from this point forward, I can't afford to not invest in it. You know what I mean? And I'll never have that safety issue again.
That's really a big thing that most people look at you like, it sucks because it's the law. We got to have it, whatever. But in reality, like it's very important, one, to have the whistle, the correct amount of life jackets, the throwable, the fire extinguisher, and then really mainly just
It's in the teens that morning, and maybe you're chasing ducks or geese, but now it's September and it's 85 degrees and you're hunting early teal or geese. As a waterfowler, you need dependable weather protection that will not break the bank. Founded in 1996, Frog Togs is not only the leader in breathable wader technology, but a company you can depend on to keep you warm and dry, head to toe, no matter your hunting environment. Stay bone dry by using discount code ZD315 for 15% off not only your first purchase, like most discount codes, but how about every single purchase you make from now until December 31st, 2024?
the knowledge about it all.
Yeah, the knowledge of the waterways that you're in and stuff. Yeah, I mean, man, guys, I'm just
Yeah, and you hear it all the time from these scenarios. It's like everyone that, luckily the people that are still with us that make it out of these scenarios are like, man, you don't realize how quickly it could happen,
Yeah. No, it happens to all of us. Every single one of us as an outdoors person, we know of a situation or been in a situation where you're like, dude, that was sketch. That was super sketch, or I almost died. I mean, you almost fall out of a tree stand or whatever it is.
Hopefully my wife doesn't listen to this.
Also scared some girls, that's for sure.
Yeah,
maybe we should start a reality show. It's like Deadliest Catch.
We talk about strapping GoPros to us all the time.
Yeah. We definitely need some GoPros and mics because there's some stuff that happens all the time. Not this kind of stuff, but
man, I'm sure y'all see all kinds of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But this. Thank you, I appreciate it.
It's basically the same thing.
Queer. Y'all drive safe. But that's like how how he compared it to small Venice. That's like, you hear all the stories about people crossing the Mississippi in the middle of the night, you don't see that ship's wake that came through that's throwing a 4-foot wake.
Yeah.
You just don't see it in the middle of the night in the dark, and it gets dangerous.
Yeah. That's another
all that timing
I'm sorry, go ahead.
That's happened. I just wanted to say that
Good.
the timing of everything was completely on God's part because for some reason it was very delayed that morning. Everything was slowing down. Our guys are a little late to the ramp, and that's fine with us, which we really don't care about. But just those few minutes of letting them get out there basically before us and letting us have enough time before we left, because we could have left just a few minutes before, and we would have been out there before those guys did, and they would have flipped and nobody would have been there to get them.
That's a good point.
And I think all the timing that morning was really on God's part.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, man. I didn't think about that at first, but yeah, just could have a few minutes here or there could have been the deal breaker.
Yeah, because they literally were right around the corner when they flipped, and they left just a few minutes before we did. Maybe 5 minutes.
Well, thank God that you guys were there, man. I mean, oh, wow. Yeah, man, you guys. Well, Tristan, you got anything else you wanted to chat with these guys about?
No, man, just thank you guys for coming on and telling us about it, man. I just, again, props to you guys, and, it's just impressive to hear, and I know y'all are humble guys and aren't out to toot your own horn or anything, but
your dad,
we'll do it for you.
Guess what, Brice? Your dad can toot all day long. Listen, Chris, if you're listening to this, and I don't know if you can hear me or not, you need to get on, and you guys need to contact your local government. I'm serious. You need to contact the local state government. You guys deserve to get some kind of recognition from the governor. I'm not, or something like this. No, you guys listen, and this is the reason behind it, is that if you do that, it gets out to more people. That's my whole point here. is that it can be used as such a positive thing to get a message out bigger to the bigger part of the
I
population.
understand why my dad would want to do that, but me and Clay, I mean, we talked about it. I mean, we don't really care for the fame of it. I mean, we didn't do it for the fame. We did it because there's people in need.
Yeah,
we
that's
didn't.
right.
That's
I
right.
mean, but I mean, I get it. It's good to get it out there and let people know that, hey, you know, we're helping people, you know.
And that kind of goes back to also one of those things of, I mean, we did that this one time and it got recognized. We have two or three local boys that work for us that they do it and see it all the time. Anybody.
Understood.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Understood. No, I really wasn't just my whole message there is just that if more people hear about it, then like Tristan was saying earlier on, you know, it's just we all need to be more locked into each other and safety and helping each other. So anyway, but man, guys, thank you so much.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And,
y'all have a good rest of your season. I know we don't got much left, but I hope you guys hammer them from the way out. And yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, we're gonna try.
Hey, you know what Yoda says?
Do it or not, there's no try.
That's right.
For sure.
All righty, guys. Well, thank you and have a good night.
Yes, sir. You too.
Thank you.
I've been southbound, I've been hellbound, riding on the midnight train. Going too fast now, think I ought to slow down, standing in the pouring rain.